Hello friends, today we are going to start with NCERT revision of the chapter Human Reproduction. We are going to look at the very important key points which are having very high probability to be asked in your NEET exam. Starting with your introduction part, there is nothing much important in this. It just introduces us to some key terms like gametogenesis, which is formation of gametes, insemination, which is transfer of sperms to female genital tract, and fertilization, which is fusion of sperm and ovum, implantation, which is blastocyst attachment and its development to uterine wall, and gestation, which is embryonic development, and parturition, which is delivery of baby. Another important thing which is to be highlighted from the introduction is that the ovum formation in women ceases at the around of age of 50 years, but the sperm formation continues even in an old man. Now starting with the male reproductive system, which is located in pelvis region, and the components of the male reproductive system are a pair of testes along with accessory ducts, glands and external genitalia. Testis, as you all know, is situated in a pouch called scrotum outside the body, and the reason being the sperm formation required 2 to 2.5 degree lower temperature than normal body temperature. Next, NCERT has given some measurements of the shape of the testis, which is about 4 to 5 centimeter in length and 2 to 3 centimeter in width. Next thing to be noted is each testis has 250 compartments, which are called as testicular lobules, and each lobule contains 1 to 3 seminiferous tubule in which the sperm are produced. Guys, each of these seminiferous tubule is lined inside by two type of cells. These are called as male germ cells or spermatogonia and Sertoli cells. The male germ cells undergo meiotic division and leading to the formation of sperm, while Sertoli cell function to provide the nutrition to these germ cell. The region outside the seminiferous tubule is called interstitial space and contains small blood vessels and interstitial cells, also called as Leydig cells. These Leydig cells function to secrete hormone called androgen. Now coming to accessory ducts, which include rete-testis, vasa efferentia, epididymis and vas deferens. Guys, these seminiferous tubule that we have talked about open to vasa efferentia through rete-testis. Now after the rete-testis open into vasa efferentia, and which further opens into epididymis and which lead to abdomen and loop over urinary bladder, then the epididymis receives a duct from the seminal vesicles and forms the ejaculatory duct, which opens into urethra. Guys, the function of this duct is to store and transport the sperm from testis to outside the body. And the external opening of the urethra is called urethral meatus. Guys, you should have a careful look of these diagrams and these labelings because the questions have been asked from these. Now moving ahead to the next page where the things are explained about penis, which is the male external genitalia and is made up of special tissue which help in excretion and help in insemination. there is an enlarged end of the penis which is called glans penis, and the penis is covered by a loose fold of skin which is called foreskin. Now guys, here are the names of some of the accessory glands of male reproductive system which constitute the seminal vesicle, prostate and a pair of bulbourethral glands. Guys, the secretion of all these glands constitute the contents of the seminal plasma which are rich in fructose, calcium and certain enzyme. The secretion of bulbourethral glands also help in lubrication of the penis. Now guys, moving ahead to female reproductive system, we are gonna look at the contents of it which are located in pelvic region and which includes a pair of ovaries, oviduct, uterus, cervix, vagina and the external genitalia. Along with mammary glands, these parts are integrated structurally and functionally to support the process of ovulation, fertilization and pregnancy, birth and child care. Guys, the primary female sex organ are ovaries, and remember the function of ovaries is to secrete several steroid hormones along with production of female gamete. Guys, the ovaries are located on the lower abdomen and each ovary is about 2 to 4 centimeter in length and is connected to the pelvic wall and the uterus by ligament, and each ovary is covered by a thin epithelium which encloses the ovarian stroma. The stroma is the innermost portion of the ovary and is divided into two zones. And remember, these two zones are a peripheral cortex and an inner medulla. Guys, this is sectional view of female pelvis showing the reproductive system. Please have a careful look of all the labelings and remember this. You can pause the video if required. Guys, as we have seen in male reproductive system, in female reproductive system too, there are some accessory ducts which include the fallopian tubes, the uterus, the vagina. The fallopian tubes are 10 to 12 centimeter long and connects periphery of each ovary to the uterus. The part of fallopian tube which is closer to ovaries is funnel shaped and is called as infundibulum. Guys, the infundibulum possesses the finger like projections which are called as fimbriae, as you can see in the diagram. These fimbriae help in collection of ovum after the ovulation has happened in the ovaries. Guys, have a very careful look of this diagram as questions have been asked from this diagram. The infundibulum further leads to a wider part, as you could see from the diagram, which is called as ampulla, and which further leads to isthmus, which is the narrow part having the narrow lumen, and isthmus further joined to uterus. Guys, there is one uterus in a female and is also called as womb. The shape of uterus is inverted pear shaped and is supported by ligaments which are attached to pelvic wall. Uterus further opens into vagina through a narrow part which is cervix, and the cavity of this cervix is called cervical canal, and along with vagina, the cervical canal are together called as birth canal. Guys, the wall of uterus has 3 layers of tissue which are external thin membranous, middle thick smooth muscle layer and inner glandular layer, perimetrium, myometrium and endometrium respectively. Guys, this endometrium undergoes cyclic changes which shreds away during the menstruation phase and forms during the other phase of menstruation cycle, and we will study in the further sections of this chapter. And the function of myometrium is to show some strong contractions during the delivery of the baby and to expel the baby out of the body of the mother. Now, mons pubis, labia majora and labia minora, hymen and clitoris are some of the female external genitalia. The mons pubis is a cushion-like fatty tissue covered by a skin and pubic hair. The labia majora are the fleshy folds of tissue which extends down from mons pubis and surrounds the vaginal opening. The labia minora are the paired fold of tissue, guys, under the labia majora. The opening of the vagina is often covered by a partially folded membrane and is called as hymen. The clitoris is a tiny finger-like structure, guys, which lies at the upper junction of the two labia majora and above the urethral opening. Guys, the hymen can often be torn during the first intercourse, but not necessarily. It can also be torn during the insertion of the vaginal tampon, active participation in some sports like horseback riding, cycling, etc. And it may also persist even after the sexual intercourse in some females. So, guys, the hymen is not a reliable indicator of virginity or sexual experience. Guys, as we have studied, the mammary glands are integrated structurally and functionally with the female reproductive system, and the mammary glands are the characteristics of all females in mammals. These are paired structure and contain glandular tissue and variable amount of fat. And this glandular tissue of each breast is divided into some lobules which are 15 to 20 in number and are called as mammary lobule or mammary lobes. These lobes contain a cluster of cells which are called as alveoli, and the cells of alveoli help to secrete milk which is stored in the cavities of these alveoli called as lumens. Guys, these alveoli open into mammary tubules, and the tubules of each lobe join to form a mammary duct, and several mammary ducts further joins to form a wider mammary ampulla which is connected to lactiferous duct through which the milk is sucked out by the baby. Guys, you should remember this set of sequence from alveoli to lactiferous duct through which the milk travels, because the question has been asked from this sequence. Guys, the rest of the part of this chapter would be covered in second video. I hope you liked this video. Thank you and have a nice day.